What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another little quick review for you. Pretty interesting little knife. This is the Ruike Knives 801. Before I get into it, I want to thank everybody that's a member of the channel members, Patreons. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for watching me every day and listening to me ramble over and over again. And really been an awesome experience. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button down there. Subscribe to my channel if you want more of it. Become a member of the Knights. You know, I really appreciate that. And yeah, so without further ado, this one was sent to me by Mr. Eddie himself. This is a pretty neat little knife. Definitely on the budget end of what Eddie normally sends me. But this is the Ruike. That's pronounced rake from everything I've read and heard on it. Believe it or not, Ruike Knives 801, P801. As you can see right there, they put that on the blade along with the steel, the company logo, and a really long serial number. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, pretty interesting little knife. Good budget knife. I really actually was pleasantly surprised by it. So let's go ahead and we'll do an overall on it, get into the specs here. From the tip of the blade all the way to the end of the handle, you're looking right at 7 7/8. Blade length, if you go all the way past the sharpening choil, you're looking at 3 5/8. If you go with cutting edge, you're looking at 3 1/2. So every bit of what I would consider, all the time pretty much on this channel anyway, a full-size knife. Get the calibers out here. Thickest part of the spine, you're looking at 106 thousandths. And behind the edge, it goes down to 22 thousandths. Flat grind on it there. 363 thousandths for the handle thickness. Go ahead and do some size comparisons. Give you a pretty good little idea of what you're dealing with size if you're interested in this one. Ontario Knives Wrap Model 1, and there's Ontario Knives Wrap Model 2. So kind of right in between the two, although the cutting edge is right there with the Wrap 1. So pretty good ratios on that end. Got the Cold Steel Knives 8010. And the Demco Knives 80-20.5. So again, with the cutting edge, the 8010's got it beat just by a hair, and definitely more than the Demco. And last but not least, we'll go with the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Alright, so kind of right in between the two with overall length, but again, that cutting edge definitely has more than both. Go ahead and get the scale out, get a weight on this bad boy here. Fairly heavy. There's not really any, you look in there, not really any internal milling or anything. That's something to keep in mind if weight's a big issue for you. It's not incredibly heavy, but it's definitely not light, right? Especially for the thinness of it. Just over 4 ounces, 4.2 ounces. Or 3 there. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, right at, I'm going to say 4.2 ounces. Put the scale up. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It is a small, thinner knife, you know, but no internal milling, nothing really done for weight reduction. It's all stainless on the hardware there. Deep carry pocket clip works pretty good. One little issue with it is the screws aren't really countersunk. You know, they're not flush flat screws or countersunk or anything like that, so that's kind of a bummer. But the clip does function pretty good, you know, unless you got like a really thick set of pants that, you know, pockets that'll go and kind of snag on those non-countersunk screws. This is a T8 on the pivot. That I can almost say positively as a T6, but I'm going to check it anyway. T6, and clip screws are T6. So T6 all the way around, except for the pivot is a T8 on each side, not captive. I don't know if they got like a D-shaped pivot barrel in there or not, but not very much hardware, you know, so should be a fairly easy knife to disassemble. Just if you use those T6s, make sure you you know, use a lot of pressure and keep it deliberate to try not to strip them out. As far as aesthetics go, this not a too bad of a looking knife. I mean, they do have different versions of it. They have a version without this pattern on it. This is, you know, not too bad. It's not textured, you know, like that's not grooved in there. That's just kind of part of the etching on the finish, I guess you could say. No back spacer, barrel spacers right there. And it does have a little lanyard hole for anybody that cares to carry a lanyard on it. It is a frame lock. Frame lock works pretty good. The action's not too bad on it. The price on this knife is probably the main attractor. I mean, it goes for about 38 bucks right now, which for 14C 28N steel is right there. Sandvik 14C 28N. That's not bad, man. I mean, it's, you know, actually a pretty good deal. I mean, I would say overall for the material, what you're getting and everything, especially when you consider, you know, a lot of other companies, CJRB, Civivi, you know, a lot of other Chinese-made companies are also doing the same thing and charging more for it, you know. Some are charging around the same, some are charging less, but a lot of them are charging more, you know, for around the same quality. It does have pretty decent finish, you know, got a little jimping there, got jimping on that lock bar where you know, your lock bar access there. Got pretty good access for that, I would have to say. You know, it's cut out well enough. Jimped pretty comfortable. The action falls shut. You know, kind of like a shake shut, I guess you could call it. Doesn't fall with no force, but if you shake it a little bit, it will go shut. Pretty neat acoustics on this one, if you'll listen. That's the opening and the close. Oh. Definitely got that metallic sound, not quite like the ting, you know, that the Factor has, but pretty, you know, definitely a more unique than normal sound, I would say. Got a nice little sharpening choil down there, good blade shape for EDC. No issues really whatsoever. It is, you know, I mean, other than the T6s, those screws being raised, you know, the billboarding, I kind of made a comment about that at the beginning, you know, I mean, they could do without the whole serial number right there and all this stuff, you know. It is good that it's kind of lighter, you know, it's not like huge writing, but yeah, you can definitely see it there for sure. And then Ruike, R-U-I-K-E, is apparently, you know, pronounced rake. But I mean, I've been calling them Ruike until I really looked into this particular knife. First time handling this one on the channel too. So those thumb studs work pretty good. They're out of the cutting path, you know, which is good. That's a good thing too. Flipper works awesome. Thumb stud works really good. Detent's a little bit stiff with the thumb studs, but also it's a frame lock, so you gotta remember not to be pressing in on that, you know, when you're flicking the thumb studs out. Preferred method of deployment on this one, probably go with the flipper, you know, although you can middle finger flick it, you know, you can use the thumb studs and thumb flick it. The centering's a little bit off, but it's been used quite a bit, I would say. You know, not terribly too much, you know. I mean, I've only carried it for a couple of days and kind of not really done too much other than some light cutting and stuff with it. Not really prying or nothing crazy like that, but yeah, I think overall, especially for 38 bucks for the money that you're paying for it, not a bad knife at all. You know, I would probably put this on this definitely going on the sub $100 playlist for sure, and might put it on my most recommended knives playlist for the price. You know, the price really, now if this was, you know, 48 bucks, you know, 58, you know, something higher than that, it would definitely, you know, I would say go with something else. But for 38 bucks, that's what they're going for right now on BladeHQ. Not a bad price at all. Pretty good little knife. And that is the Ruike Knives P801. Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, P801-SF is this particular one. Sandvik 14C28N steel. These are made in China. You can find them on my affiliate link if you're interested. BladeHQ affiliate links down below. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you want more of it. If you want to listen to me ramble on more and more about knives. Appreciate that. And Mr. Eddie, thank you. Big shout out to Mr. Eddie for letting me borrow this and quite a few other knives for, you know, review. It's thanks to people like him that I can keep up, you know, with regular or semi-regular content, you know. So definitely awesome. That's pretty much it, guys. Until next time, y'all stay sharp.